All right, everyone. Today, my presentation will be on Ludwig von Mises. He is a major figure in the Austrian School of Economics, and one of his nicknames is called the Last Knight of Liberalism. So, just to get into a little background on von Mises, he is an Austrian American economist and sociologist, and he was a leading figure in the Austrian School of Economics. He extensively studied classical liberalism and emphasized the importance of consumers in economic theory. Mises is renowned for his comparative studies of communism and capitalism. He emigrated to the US in 1940, and his writings have profoundly influenced libertarian movements, with Friedrich Hayek considering him a major figure in the revival of classical liberalism after World War II. His ideas continue to shape modern libertarian thought to this day, and I think this highlights the enduring impact of his work on contemporary economic and political discourse. So here is his biography. So he was born in Lviv, which is present-day Ukraine, in 1881, to a family of Austrian nobility, which was involved in financing and constructing railroads. He then attended the University of Vienna, where he was influenced by the works of Karl Menger, and later became a professor at the same university, where he mentored Friedrich Hayek. During the First World War, Mises served as an economic advisor to the Austro-Hungarian War Department, and later to Engelbert Dollfuss, who was the Austro-fascist Austrian chancellor. In 1940, he fled Austria to escape the Nazis, and emigrated to the US, where he became a visiting professor at New York University until he retired in 1969. Mises' writings have profoundly influenced libertarian movements, and he was a founding member of the Mont Pelerin Society. He passed away in 1973 in New York City, and he left behind a legacy that continues to shape economic and political discourse to this day, with his work studied and revered by prominent libertarians such as Congressman Ron Paul. So just to get into the major assumptions of von Mises, in his book on the theory of money and credit, he laid the foundation for monetary theory and integrated microeconomics with macroeconomics. He emphasized the origin of money in the market, its role as a medium of exchange, and its value based on its utility as a commodity. Von Mises developed the Austrian business cycle theory, which attributes recurrent business cycles to government-induced inflationary expansions of money. He argued that these expansions lead to unsustainable investments and ultimately recession when investments prove unprofitable. He was highly critical of centrally planned economies, and he advocated for free market principles and viewed them as the most effective means of producing and distributing goods and services, which would be seen as contrary to Keynesian views. And here is a little excerpt from one of the videos on von Mises. I thought it was a really good segment to play here in the presentation.
So the end result that Mises reaches, which is part of also his claim to fame and drives some people crazy, is that he says socialism can't work. Interventionism and government regulation contrary to purpose because they just gum up the works. So at the end of the day, there is only one institutional economic system that has functioning capability, and that is basically an unhampered, unregulated, free market economy in which the role of the government is not to intrude, redistribute, control, but to serve those basic functions of protection of everyone's life, liberty, and honestly acquired property in a setting of voluntary trade and exchange. So all that one does is done in a way to improve the circumstances of others, as Adam Smith long ago argued through his idea of the invisible hand.
He died in 1973. He didn't really live to see the rebirth of liberalism. He didn't. So he died. The Soviet Union still survived. He died. The Cold War was still on. I mean, he died, and Keynesianism hadn't yet been discredited. He died before the whole system that he fought against his entire life completely unraveled. It always makes me sad. It makes me sad to think that. And yet it should increase our admiration for him, that he fought and he fought and he fought without ever seeing any evidence that he was ultimately right.
And finally, the legacy of Ludwig von Mises is very strong. He lives on today in the Ludwig von Mises Institute, which is a nonprofit and a research and educational center which is dedicated to promoting the Austrian School of Economics and the principles of classical liberalism. It conducts research, publishes books and articles, hosts conferences, and also provides educational programs to advance the understanding of free market economics and individual liberty.